Hey everyone, welcome to the Couples Take On. I'm Austin.
And I'm Shelley.
Today we're going to talk to you about supplements and hair follicle testing and how to get the information you need to make meaningful changes in your life and in your health. This is not legal or medical advice, so talk to your doctor, but here we go. Ready? All right, so we have been working on ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, and basically sometimes it's good to get some more information about how to proceed with your supplements. Some people just, oh, I saw someone was taking this and someone was taking this, so I'm taking
You
this.
mean our farmer versions?
Yeah.
Because that was legit what we would do. We'd hear about some new trend or maybe get an ad targeted. And honestly, though, I had some really great improvements in my health by just following that intuitive nudge with things. So I'm not going to shame ourselves,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
like it really did. But now it's a completely different ball game with what we're
Like
doing.
we're doing it with intention now, right? And Shelley and I have pretty much done every diet trend
Yeah.
ever. And now we're entering in this phase of intuitive eating. And I wouldn't say that's a diet trend. That's a live it trend. And if you follow Wim Hof, you'll know what I'm talking about.
You might be doing intuitive. I'm doing more like intentionally eating certain amounts of protein with each meal because I'm entering into perimenopause, menopause phase. It's super important. I'm doing weights and whatnot, that protein. But plus, really, that was what I was supposed to be doing all along as a fellow weight loss surgery patient 15 years ago. And so my body will forever be altered, which then means how my body uptakes the nutrition and the nutrients and stuff like that. It's just really important to dial in the nutrition.
Yeah, and like some of my small intestines died when I was an infant. And so my GI tract's kind of modified too. So we both have to make sure we're like stacking the deck in our favor. And so we wanted to tell you a little bit about some information that we've figured out more recently, actually. So, so
We were no longer in an anxious, like running a program state. And instead, we're like willing to sit down and have self-awareness for ourselves, but then also together and working together collaboratively. So it's a very intimate thing to be like, when you were sharing with me, you were pooping out white stuff. Part of me was like gross, but then I was like, did you take a picture?
I didn't actually. But yeah, we're gonna do a whole another podcast on poop, and I asked Sean Wells if he wants to be in on that because your poop tells the truth. You know what I'm saying?
It's so much like how that stuff smells. And anyway,
yeah. So we had made a detox guide, right? And if you scan this, you can open this up and you can work through your detox.
I think we'll drop the link.
Yeah, we'll drop the link.
We'll drop
too,
the link
but
if you're
if you want to scan it right now, it's this one. Okay. So Shelly and I live in Stockton, and we've been going to Greens Nutrition for since I don't know. I moved here in 09, 08. Yeah.
You were going to her at the other location.
Oh yeah, on Waterloo.
I think I probably started in about 2010. So
About when we met.
Yeah.
So I'd been going for a little while. But they moved and we live near them now. It's like a short walk away. And we've gone in there for years. And Shelly went there when she was working through like alcohol and addiction and like food and diet trends. Oh, have you got this new whatever it is? Monk fruit keto bar, whatever, right? Shelly worked in a health food store back.
I did back in the early 2000s when there was the big low carb Atkins trend. This was before there was the plethora of products on normal grocery store shelves, like high protein. And I worked at basically a low carb store and I loved it.
What were those bars called that Tom Bilou makes? Didn't you say you guys?
But that's
the Quest
Quest came out till 2010, 11.
Oh,
like he's newer on the scene. That was, I think, once the paleo hit and a whole bunch of other diet. I don't want to call them trends because I think that they're really here to stay and there's a lot more scientific data behind them. Yeah. It changed up the whole diet game because before that it was all low fat. It was all low fat, and then the Atkins, there were not the amount of diet or Splenda was brand new on the scene. I remember that. So there wasn't a ton of products made with Splenda sucralose ingredients at the time. And now there's so many different sweeteners.
So now with like our more intuitive eating and supplements and stuff, we have a bit of trouble with digesting some of those, what would you call
artificial crap? It's artificial crap. I cannot do it anymore. I can do some sodas. Yes, I do eat the artificial crap and the sodas. That's one of the things that I like
You're
soda.
working on it.
I'm working on it, exactly. And there have been times when actually very recently, I think we had some Fresca and we were like, pour it out. And I'm like, yeah,
can't do it
I'm not
anymore.
doing it anymore. So that's the intuitive eating part.
Right.
Yeah.
Used to be able to eat like stevia and erythritol stuff and monk fruit, and now we've crossed that phase. Yeah. I'm trying to get, also had some like amazing fucking peaches this year and like cherries. Fuck. Like you don't even need sugar.
Yeah.
You just crunch a few of those and put them in some water and it tastes great.
Yeah.
We had some lemonade the other day at a party, and it was made with real lemons. And it was like, wow. I don't know. Like I've done hot yoga before, and when you come out and sometimes you just squeeze a nice lemon into water, it tastes like lemonade because you need those electrolytes so bad. And it tastes like the sweetest lemonade you've ever had, and it's totally not sweet. So it's, what does your body need in the moment? And so that's some of the things we've been like taking care of with greens, is like getting our broad spectrum, just general supplements to account for our modern living, modern food, processed food. Because can you get all the ingredients out of the soil? Okay, we're gonna plant it and grow and turn it and this and that. No, you can grow your own food, which you've been working on that too. But like, how do you do that sustainably for yourself? So can you hand me this big bucket of
I gotta
supplement?
stand up.
Okay, she's gonna stand up.
So hopefully you don't see that I'm mismatched. Like I had a whole plan.
You don't have to say anything.
I'm going to, okay, because I feel better.
Should I turn the camera?
No, I'm celebrating because for me to show up, and I've shown up a couple times, but this is just, I'm just saying I'm progressing. I'm like up leveling, because there would have been a time I would have canceled all this and been like, we are not doing it. And
You're not.
I don't feel good or I don't look good. And now I'm like, just show up as you are. Like we all have different versions of ourselves at different times. So.
Oh man. Okay. Okay. We're not overwhelming you. Okay. So if this looks overwhelming, just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're gonna tell you something else.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's important to go through your supplements. What are you still taking? What's working? What's not working? Sometimes your body guidance will tell you, but other times you might need a little help with that situation. And so that's where we want to talk to you a little bit about the hair follicle testing. So we were down in SoCal about a year or so ago, maybe even 18 months.
I think it was like 18 months ago.
It was like October.
It's October 2022.
Yeah. And
you were working through kidney stones.
Yeah, kidney stones.
It was causing some real issues. And so we actually had to stop at an IV clinic and get treatment. The doctors would not treat him, but the IV clinics would give Toradol because he really needed it to help get the stone moved out because he was in such severe pain. And I forget how much far out they were to do the surgery. I don't know. It was a big
so we stopped in Huntington Beach at one of the IV clinics. I think it's like We Vitalize or something.
We Vitalize.
Yeah. And we met a woman there named Natalie Landa, who does all kinds of health, wellness, nutritional coaching and stuff like that. And she's like, have you guys ever done a hair follicle test or like genetic hair follicle test? And she's like, no, you take the hair follicles and you send in 4 or 5 of them and they'll give you a report back and they'll tell you like what targeted things you should take or eat or whatever. I was like, oh, do you want to do that? And I think it was like a sale at the time, like $300 each person. We're like, okay, fine. We bought it. It sat around for like a year and a half.
Months. Yeah. It just,
but it like came back full circle about 4 months ago. And I was reading Sean Wells' book, The Energy Formula. I met him at the Condor event, Psychedelic Integration Conference. And this book is a bunch of his story, graphs, and then like formulators corner talking about supplements and stuff. And like a big ENERGY, it stands for something. Y is your tribe. Find your tribe of people. So Shelley's part of my tribe. I'm part of Shelley's tribe. And you're all part of our tribe. We're trying to figure this out, right? So anyway, the hair follicle test was like very eye-opening.
When I got those results, I went.
So when I said poop doesn't lie, the hair follicles don't lie. And so they have all this research and data and like peer-reviewed articles that come with it. But when you do your hair follicle test, they send you like tweezers and gloves and you pull out like 4 or 5
from the very back, like back here. You pull it out.
And you have to get the hair follicle. We were having a little trouble, so we busted out the tweezer,
we
man.
busted out ours.
But you need like a partner to do it. And they do it in-house there, but they also have mail-in kit. And we did the mail-in kit. And we're working on bringing that to Green's Nutrition in Stockton, and Shelley will help do that. But as a scientist, like the data here was crazy. Like it's got like a 90-day optimization plan, and it tells you like what to eat, what to not. Yeah, I think it's like 40 something.
40. It's
36.
Okay, 36.
Okay, and then when you're done, like you get like a consult with Natalie, and she's okay, let's go over the supplements. And she builds you like a little shopping cart with what to take. And let's see, what was the other one? And then she also writes a little report of like my top priorities were like take care of fatty acids, toxic metals, and vitamins. And then like have a nice write-up. So for those of you that are overwhelmed with taking a cornucopia basket of supplements, honestly, this isn't even a fucking fourth of it, right? If you want to be like more targeted in your approach from the hair follicle testing, do you have that other bottle over there?
Which one?
It's that cleanse one. Or maybe it's in the bottom of here.
I don't even know which cleanse.
Okay. Maybe it's no, I think it's in here. Sorry. Sometimes I get...
Oh, we forgot to put the timer on so we don't babble. Okay, let's
shoot.
turn it on.
Okay. Let me get this. I just wanted to show you this part. Okay. Oh my God. Jeez. Oh, here we go. Okay. So from the hair follicle testing, the biggest thing for me was to rebalance my gut biome, which was doing a candida cleanse, right? And also take care of heavy metals. So this is like cilantro oil. And so what I was doing is doing a lot more dishes with cilantro. I was doing the oil. I did the candida cleanse.
I think we added cilantro to some of your juices.
I did, yeah. And we have a farmer's market here, and the farmers, it's really cool to have that energetic exchange with the farmer because they're proud of their produce. They're like, check it out. And I'm like, yeah, this fucking smells, tastes great. Let's do this. And I bring home, juice it up or whatever. But instead of having this huge bucket of stuff, we've noticed that some people get overwhelmed with too many choices. So if you're feeling that way, if you do the hair follicle test, try these few things. And what was interesting is when Shelley did it, they're like, you need to focus on your gut right away. And so for her, she had to do digestive enzymes and then probiotics.
Psyllium husk
and psyllium
in
husk.
my protein shake every morning.
And so what was interesting, we were already taking supplements, but when we took these targeted ones, Shelley noticed within a couple of days.
The next morning,
So
I
you
had my
took
protein shake.
these.
I put the psyllium husk in it. I took the probiotic, whatever. First thing in the morning, this is what went in my gut along with water. And then I started using the digestive aid with every meal I was eating. And I have all my body parts, meaning that I have my gallbladder and all of that kind of stuff. The next day when I pooped, I felt like this total release of I don't know what, and my poop was floating thanks to the psyllium husk, but the bloating that I had been feeling for a long time, gone. I was like,
so this is the digestive enzyme.
Yeah.
This is the Vitalix. Is that the women's one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Women's formulation. And then the psyllium. Right. So this is like fiber, right?
The thing so we did the test, but prior to doing the hair follicle test, we had already been consulting with Dr. Eunice Green, who does intuitive nutrition, holistic nutrition counseling. And so she asks you some questions and then bases recommendations off of the questions. So then when we got the hair follicle testing and we showed her, it was very much pretty spot on for what she was treating us with. So then it was like, it just reinforced.
So like we with her developed a plan, like kind of an overall wellness plan. So I think this and this. And what's interesting is, yes, these items were like the top priority. But
for you, and mine was
But when you read the rest of the report, it was very much in line of what Dr. Eunice Green had said at Green's Nutrition of overall health. Like she was telling me like, hey, you guys should also both do this memory revitalizer one. We both noticed more clarity in our mind. She's like, hey, you guys are probably deficient in your amino acids. So we were doing this perfect aminos. And I like to put this in with like my protein shake or my, what was it called? Like functional mushroom coffee,
yeah.
like mud water or rise or whatever.
They also have an amino acid that has for electrolytes, because what we found with the amino acids, I actually think that part of my level up and feeling a lot better in the last couple of weeks is the amino acids and being consistent with them. Was we had a jar of them, but you had to take 5 to 15 a day.
Yeah, like the pills.
Yeah, the pills.
But I saw this one.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I might dump it. But this one is like a powder, and
it's a powder.
It's a mocha powder, and it's been real nice with the mushroom coffee, and add a little mushroom creamer. That's been real nice, and that's been a good way for me to make sure I get amino acids, because if you're deficient in amino acids, your body's going to keep saying eat meat, eat meat, even though maybe you need one amino acid, right? But if you cover it with this spectrum of the amino acid blend, then maybe you don't feel as hungry. And so I was doing that to help me feel like making sure that I'm intuitively taking care of my protein and amino acid needs. Now, also, like, I'm nerding out with this one because like I did medicinal chemistry and I was making synthetic amino acids in the lab to do what? Chelate heavy metals. No. It was like a message for me, fucking Austin. Like, you need to do this.
This was a message for me, since I've had weight loss surgery, of you need to be paying attention to what you're putting in your body and then treating your digestive tract really well, because it doesn't function as it did when I was born. So yeah, it was a very full circle moment.
And then also, just if you read the reports, overall health, it's good to take microgreens. These are from Zesty.
I was just noticing that caffeine was causing a really increase in anxiety for me. And I think it took a bit for me to accept that, even though you probably had noticed it. And so then when I just started doing the microgreens powder, and it's just like a half teaspoon, I started noticing I had a different kind of energy, and it was just a fresher energy. It wasn't that sort of, I don't know. What is it coffee gives you? It makes, I don't know.
Caffeine
didn't do it.
Caffeine
it just was a nice
tricks
energy.
your body into thinking that you have more energy, and you don't, by blocking the adenosine receptors on your brain. And so when the caffeine lifts out of there, then all the adenosine comes in and makes you go to sleep. That's why you get the crash. And then people eat sugar to pull out of it. If you want a good read Caffeine by Michael Pollan. Super interesting about controlling people in the 9 to 5. Anyway, that's for another topic.
Oh, the other thing that the hair follicle.
Oh wait, there's more. No, so
well, the other thing that the hair follicle showed, besides, so the first one was digestion.
I want to say something. If Shelley said poop doesn't lie, your hair definitely doesn't lie, because it's the most rapidly dividing cells. Now, if you don't have hair anymore or whatever, sometimes they'll do eyebrow hairs or pubic hairs. So you're good there. Okay. So the other big thing was that since probably September, October, I had gained 25 to 30 pounds. And I really was attributing it to, I had a huge hormone shift. And the way that I've gained the weight, it's in my abdomen in a way I've never seen my abdomen look this way. And at one point I was 300 pounds. So I've definitely run the gamut. And what's interesting is I have pictures all across the way of the changes in my body. Pictures like nude pictures. So from your college project. Yes. So I happen to notice, like, the way that fat is sitting in my abdomen is this visceral fat that they talk about in the menopause world. So I've now had to add in some products to support me as I go through this transition. But this is what the hair follicle test showed. She was like, it's showing me you have excess sugar. I go, what do you mean you have excess sugar? Because I'm thinking in my mind, like, I don't eat that much sugar. And then it like really hit me that probably for the last 6 months, true story, we and I, okay, because sometimes it's just me, sometimes it's we, had been eating sugar at night. We'd go to the convenience store and just split a candy bar, or maybe I'd buy some processed sugar, gummies, stuff like that. And it really hit me. That showed up in the hair follicle test. It was like excess sugar. And I was like, oh, it doesn't lie. And so then she basically said, start taking the chromium picolinate. And I will be honest, I feel a lot better.
I don't have the sugar cravings I was having. Again, I realized it was some anxiety. It was some old programming because I recognized the sugar kept me grounded. And then you recognize the sugar kept you grounded also.
Well, it's
And
like
it
an
was
old
late at
program.
night after
Yeah.
like everything had happened. And so we've slowly added in a lot more quieter activities at night to ground us. So instead of going to sugar, it's more let's go on a walk, let's watch the sunset, let's do some yoga, or let's read.
Or sometimes now, like I was reading in the report, also this report for the hair follicle test lined up pretty well with my genetic testing I did for Inside Tracker. And so that was interesting because that'll tell you what to eat. Because when I had kidney stones, they're like, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. And I'm like, what the fuck do I eat? Like, I don't know. And so it was nice to have like Inside Tracker, and then this hair follicle test was telling me like, oh, try having more beans, try having berries before bed. And I was like, I started doing that, and that's made a big difference. And then there's a farmer over here. He has fucking amazing blackberries. Every time I show up, I get like 3 of them. And then we've been making our own yogurt. And so we've both had a little dairy issues, but like when we make our own yogurt, like neither one of us
Did the
really
dairy
have
wait, but did
issues.
the dairy issue show up? So we also had years ago done a food sensitivity test through
Right.
Everlywell.
Yeah.
And for me, it was coming up that cow's milk was like a trigger for me. And for the most part, I don't do much dairy. I think the only dairy I do is the yogurt we make now.
Well, she cut out dairy from, she would have coffee.
Yeah, coffee,
with
cream, and sugar.
And I usually drink coffee black. So for me, like it never really bothered me. But that little sugar now, since Shelley's been more dialed into her health and her body, me too, the added sugar fucking gets us. So you go to the store now and you can't even buy coconut water that doesn't have freaking sugar added to it. And I'm like, I don't want that. I'll just go get the other one, meat, chop it up with a meat cleaver. And it's even salad dressings have sugar added.
But
And
it just,
it's
they have
like
crap. The guar gum, that's what the other thing we're noticing. We really try and look at what's in it. There's sometimes like this particular amino acids, it has guar gum in it.
But they're trying to float the
Yeah, no, sorry, this is xanthan gum.
xanthan.
Yeah.
So I've noticed, at least for me, gums bother me a lot. But so if there's gums in like nut milks, I won't get it. But that's just me. Like for you, if it's fine. But you have to figure out what works well for your body. And what's interesting is sometimes these supplements come in and go out. I don't need this one anymore. I already pooped out the poop that was coated in white. And I'm like, Natalie, is this the cleanse you were talking about? Like 3. So Shelley noticed right away, like 2 a day in with her supplements. Me, it took about 3 weeks to notice. But then I like cleared it out, and now I'm like, okay, now I've reset my gut. So what am I gonna do? So berberine came up because it helps with metabolism, but there was a formulation I was trying and it had a lot of caffeine in it. And for me, I'm a little bit sensitive to caffeine. So I went ahead and just got straight up berberine. But if you like caffeine and you're used to it, then figure out what works for you. And what was interesting on the hair follicle testing, we were talking with Eunice Green about this. And we met Natalie through an IV clinic that did the Toradol for me and glutathione. I was like, hey, yeah, glutathione. And Eunice was like, oh, have you tried the Swish product? Swish? It has glutathione in it. And like this, you basically take like capfuls in the morning.
2 capfules, 30 seconds.
Swallow it. And so glutathione actually is known to help with chelation of heavy metals, which came up in my report, in the brain. And so this was helpful with that, and also just like opening up your gut, opening up your palate. So those are some of the benefits that I was feeling. What benefits?
I just have more energy with it. There's also some talk that there's a spray they have, it's glutathione spray, and it helps with your acne. Because the one thing I've noticed as I'm like detoxing is that I've really broken out. And I've realized it's also some stuff comes online as your hormones are changing, going through the perimenopause phase, and that could include cystic acne again. And I've had that come up.
Which brings us to the next ones, female libido.
It's a real.
Yeah. That's not the one that
No, that's not the one I'm taking.
Eunice has one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were out. That's like a pill
And then Eunice has at Greens Nutrition, they have the perimenopause formulation.
That's been wonderful for hot flashes.
Shelley ran out. And that's when you know that
Yes.
the supplements are really working is when
Yeah.
you run out
Mhm.
and you're like, fuck, I feel like shit
Yeah,
or
I think
whatever.
I was out of that for about 5 days and I was just changed. I
And
just
then
didn't feel as good.
the last one is the same company, Swish,
Mhm.
Numi, makes this one called hers, and it helps women with hormone regulation.
Mhm.
And so some of the guys are like, where's the hem? I guess they're working on it. But this was interesting to hear this story from Eunice Green. She was like, yeah, we had a teenage girl come in with horrible cramps. And they put her, they said, hey, why don't you try this? And literally her cramps like went to a more manageable level.
Mhm.
So it's like there's women that are from in their teens all the way into their 80s taking it, having like nice results of something that kind of like normalizes across the spectrum. So I don't know. I thought that was cool for them.
Mhm.
You know, being a former teacher of teenagers, I'm like, oh, I wonder if this would help them learn better, if they feel better. And it's, yeah, of course.
Right. Then there's a few others not up here, but this was what we put together
I'll grab the electrolytes.
in talking with Eunice and also some of my research with menopause. It was talked about like fish oil and such. So I added this recently and I just feel calmer. I feel better. It has evening primrose, so it's really helping with hormones because honestly, what I was noticing is that I would be really great. I'd have my period and then I'd be really great for 2 weeks. And then once I ovulated,
Well, right before.
what do you mean? Pre-ovulation, I would just start to feel a little wonky and then I would ovulate and then I would like crash. And so what I changed up for this month was I added in that omega women's blend. And I've also added in the amino acids. I've gotten rid of the caffeine. So I'm doing, if I need an energy shot, I do the microgreens. But then I also, where is it? I also added, wait, you took it all away and now I can't remember.
Oh. I was like, I
Um,
was trying to clean up.
I know. I seriously can't remember. So, okay, I added the omega this month. I added the amino acids.
You added the
I
premium.
added this. No, the chromium I've been taking. I know I stopped doing the caffeine. So it wasn't a supplement. I looked at my caffeine consumption. So I had some self-awareness around that. I also really dialed in my sugar consumption because when I went to New York, we ate so clean. It was a vegetarian retreat center. Everything, almost everything was grown on their farm. It was so incredibly fresh and amazing that I loved how I felt. And so I like carried that over when I came home and ate much cleaner than I had the previous month. So this month, what I've noticed is that my symptoms, so I ovulated, I still have amazing energy. In fact, yesterday, because I'm like a day or two away from starting my period, if I look at the calendar, I worked out the hardest I've ever worked out on our machine. I think I did over 5,000 pounds. I felt amazing. I had energy. Yesterday, I was awake from 4 a.m. until, I don't know, 10, 11 at night. That hasn't happened in forever.
And we went to nighttime events.
We went to nighttime events because I was like literally would wake up at 3 or 4 and I don't know, I would just be in my head and not moving my body and not doing things and nutrition and like drinking water. And then by the time the sun set, I set. And now that I'm getting like my energy back and feeling a lot better, it's been amazing. I did also add, you didn't bring it, D3K2.
No, I left that over there.
Oh, so I added D2, D3, K2, which is vitamin D and K2 because they need to be together.
To vitamin D3 goes to vitamin D with the sun, which then goes into your sex hormones, which is really important for women, especially in this perimenopause.
So I'm just really noticing that this particular month in my cycle, how much better I'm feeling in a way I haven't felt in a long time. And I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. And so then that tells me I'm on the right track with a lot of things. We didn't bring it out. One other thing I added was NMN, which is, how do you pronounce that?
I don't know. Can you bring that?
Yeah.
Can you bring the other electrolytes and whatever else you feel called? And I'm going to tell them a couple things. So I don't know about you, but certain phases of the moon as a man, sometimes my body detoxes. I can smell it in the urine and I can also like taste it in my breath. So sometimes I do this ChloroFresh stuff. And then also I'm working on doing a detox also. So I'm mindfully doing the detox And Eunice Green just did a class on detoxing
Mhm.
with aloe and hydrated bentonite clay and stuff like this. But in the past, I had taken bentonite clay and it brought all the gluten that was in my gut into my gut, and I felt like terrible. And she's like, "You got to do the hydrated one, and you got to go slow." And I was like, "Okay." So anyway, working on that. Of course, we have protein
This was
powders
what,
and
so I
stuff.
also added this, which
Nicotinamide mononucleotide, NMN.
so somebody had told me that they were online, they were very active, and when they added this, it really helped them. So I was like, okay, let me add this. So I did add several supplements this month, but I also dialed in my food differently and my hydration differently and my movement differently. And so I really think that it's having this holistic synergistic effect. And I'm very grateful and thankful for all of this awareness, because at one point I would have been angry. I had to like literally even portion out all my vitamins in the morning. Why do I have to take 10 vitamins in the morning? I shouldn't have to. And now I'm like, I look forward to taking 10 vitamins in the morning because I feel so much better.
Did you bring the electrolytes?
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. So I'll do a quick little demo for you. I got my water bottle here. I got the microgreens. Now you can measure this, right? A half teaspoon is 3 cups of vegetables, but I'll just add it in here. Yeah, that's about half a teaspoon, right? I know because I'm a chemist. So much shit you don't need to measure.
I'm used to measuring exact because hello,
But
hospital.
stuff. Microgreen powder, do you think it matters if I take a half a teaspoon, quarter teaspoon, or a full teaspoon?
No.
Probably not. But if you've never taken it, you're gonna probably shit.
Honest, the first week I took that, it was cleaning me out. I was
Yeah.
pooping left and right.
But see, it goes into solution real nice. He's very proud of this. But I just thought I would have some.
Oh,
You want
okay.
some?
No, I'm good. I don't want to have that much.
It was like half a teaspoon. You want me to dehydrate it and show you that I'm
No,
right?
I'm okay. I actually don't. I'm not being called to it today. Sometimes I'll just do a
Yeah.
shot of that in the afternoon when my energy's starting to wane, and I'll take a shot of that, and then that has helped a lot.
That's a really good point, because we actually were talking this to Eunice, like before we did the hair follicle test, we had been working with her for about what, 6 weeks or so with our supplements. We're like, do we have to take this stuff every day? She's, oh no, like you could take a day off. Oh, okay. Like she said, maybe Sunday's a good day for you, or Wednesday or whatever. And that's a really great point of, if you don't feel called to it, unless your doctor's telling you you have to take something. But then also we have a plethora of electrolyte powders. Shelley just got this one. You like it, right?
I like it a lot. And I've noticed, because I'm working out, I drink one electrolyte powder, even if I don't work out that day. And it's just, I feel good.
And then I like these ones. When we went to the farm yesterday, I made electrolytes for everybody, and they're like, "Oh." And then funny, the whole house fan people. Oh, if your wife has perimenopause, get a whole house fan. It makes a fucking huge difference. Wholehousefan.com. They're just kidding. I'm not sponsored, but they're great in Sacramento. Yeah, so I gave them the electrolytes, and they're like, yeah, the electrolyte guy. What are you talking about? The guy that brought all the electrolytes. It's fun. Let's see, what else? Do you want to start wrapping up?
Yeah, I really have had to dial in my nutrition powder game. I was always a whey. I always drank the whey protein, and then I can't do the whey protein. And then when I started doing the vegan ones or the plant-based, I was like, it was subconscious programming. I was just ew. Like I literally was like, ew, and I wasn't like opening my mind to accept that this is what my body needed now. And so I tried different packets. I bought individual prep packets, and that really helped me dial in which is the one I like. And so I really like the Truvani brand because she does not have much ingredients in it, and it's all like right there spelled out. And I appreciate that it's, I think, under 10 ingredients.
It's about 10. Now for me, I don't particularly like monk fruit.
Yeah,
it doesn't work with me. So for me, it like makes the roof of my mouth itch. But so there's all these other, like for me, I'm not a huge protein shake person, but if I got to be on back-to-back Zoom calls, I'll do it. But for Shelley does great with protein shakes. And what's interesting, if Shadow Shelley's coming online and she's all pissy, I'm like, where's your protein packet? Because what she does is carry some of the little ones of these in her purse. That way she can always at least have something. so that we don't run off to fast food
We've
or
realized
whatever.
we have to carry
We have
food
to
with
pack our
us
lunch.
because most of the foods we are really sensitive to. So when we would eat out a lot before, it would be okay, but now it doesn't make us feel very good when we eat it. So it's easier for us just to pack our own stuff.
We've done pretty
Yeah.
consistently well. Like
Water wise too, yeah. Bring our own bottled water because we do a Berkey and we like the taste of that. And yeah.
Yeah, when you're in a pinch, it's good to know where you can go and still feel okay. Sometimes we'll go to In-N-Out and I'll just ask for a lot of extra vegetables and I don't get abundant stuff.
I'll buy like this is the Sprouts vegan that was like a special limited edition cherry, and then I put frozen cherries, and it was
actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna be so hard on myself if I have stuff that has like ingredients that are not suggested. It's more I try to avoid them the best I can. And then I just make note in my body because there was some that the Fresca kind of blew me away. I think that had
that blew me
and it
away
used to be
too.
we could do Fresca, and now it was like, oh, okay,
Well, like
more Fresca.
now I have, if I'm feeling jonesing for a soda or something, I'll just have sparkling water and I'll add a little pinch of electrolyte powder to it, or I'll smash a cherry into it.
Well, we'll sometimes do Celtic sea salt.
Yeah, just
things
what
that help.
Yeah, what do you do to help you?
Yeah.
Now, as we wrap up, like we want to remind you of this detox guide.
Mhm.
We have other guides too, like we have conscious cannabis guide and stuff like that. But what's your plan? How are you doing it? What are you taking? What are you bringing in? What are you letting go? Supplements, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual stuff. It's all here. Honestly, you could take one of these questions and probably write a page on each one of them. So we have for one of our intake forms, it's like 50 pages, 50 questions
50
or something.
questions. A lot.
So in summary, let's bring it together. Like intuitively, you could tap into that and figure out what your body needs or doesn't need. That's a little challenging in the beginning. Eat things that feel good to you, like to your body, not to your mind chemistry shit show, not to your gut shit show, but what actually feels good to your body. Like if you're lifting heavy, you're like, gosh, I need to eat a steak today. Check that out. Feel into that. If you're feeling like you need to eat some vegetables and stuff, like do that. So that's what we've been doing.
But you've noticed occasionally I will get stuff. Was it the convenience store food or like the processed foods? And he will notice an immediate shift in my energy to the point where he's, are you okay? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm fine. He can tell that like my energy went from this to this, and it's processed foods.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you're aware of it, you'll see it. And we've both had our weight loss journeys of losing and gaining 100 pounds a couple times. And I've lost about 50 pounds since teaching on the pandemic. But it just takes time, and you have to let the emotions go with the food, because you're like calories in, calories out, bro. And what about the emotional component? Because if you stored that food with a bunch of emotions of suppressing things, throat chakra, like during the pandemic of I don't like doing this or whatever. Now it's like you're letting that stuff go, and you have to let go of the emotions too. So that's like important to stack the deck in your favor, to let go of the emotions, like for instance, psyllium, right? That helps your body eliminate. So if your colon is trying, and your cells are trying to get rid of shit, including emotional shit, it's nice to have a nice pathway for them to do that. Which actually is a good point, like on the hair follicle testing, and also with Eunice's recent class on detox, it's like clear your body out first before you start new supplements. Like I wish I had done that first, but it's okay. You learn as you go.
Yeah.
So now I'm coming up to this time where I'm like, okay, I want to detox again. I want to go to OHI in San Diego, Optimum Health Institute, clear everything out and have a fresh start. So hair follicle testing is great for those of you who are like, I don't know what to take and I don't want to spend too much money and be overwhelmed, because you could drop $500 on supplements easy. But if you took the hair follicle test for like 300, maybe, I think it went up a little bit since then. And then you know exactly what to take and how to eat. Then you can narrow it down. I think those couple supplements Shelley started with were like 60 or $80 instead of buying the whole store.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
For me, my supplements were like $50 after the testing. And then of course, eating food and eating more fresh. What's interesting is when you eat more fresh I actually feel more satiated and full than if I eat a bunch of processed stuff like bagged salad versus salad I get at the farmer's market.
Well, I was gonna say, I think what's nice about keeping track and having the awareness using journal prompts such as this is every day is going to be different. And the feeling that I have in my body and then my mind and my spirit right now has taken probably about 3 months. Like what I'm like feeling has just recently come on within the last 2 weeks. And I very much attribute it to changing all of the things that I've discussed. So it was definitely not overnight. It was not within 4 weeks. So it's almost like part of my lesson in this is throwing out the time component and just accepting that it's like a natural process and an everyday thing, and that I will ebb and flow in the days that I don't feel so great. Why is it I don't feel so great? Did I eat something or did I do things? Was I around people? Was I doing things that were not aligned, or maybe old programming, or quite frankly, maybe I need to go and take some action today to go get grounded or go bring joy into my life to spark feeling better. So I just noticed that it's like truly diving into myself and understanding myself. And then now I feel really great. And I know it's a whole holistic change that I've created. And then you and I working together has been really great too.
Yeah, and like outside, nature can help you remind you of this. You go to the beach and you like dig a sandcastle or carve stuff. Eventually, the water comes in and washes it away, but it doesn't wash it the first time. It takes a few times. Then you get dialed in on what you want to do.
That's
Trees.
why, like right now, I have the acne and I'm just accepting it. I'm like, it's okay. It's all part of the process. Sorry, trees.
Yeah, so the trees, they remind you, they drop their leaves, they reset, and then they go again. And then they keep repeating this. That's a seasonal cycle. And then a monthly cycle, you have the moon, right? So the moon affects the tides in the ocean. You're made of water. You got the moon. Tell me that it doesn't affect you. And it reminds you every month of like in the full moon, like release stuff. Like you could be cleaning out your house, you could be cleaning out your supplements, clean out your mind, set your new intentions in the new moon. Like what supplements do you want to bring? Like how do you want to eat? Like how do you want to cook? So just what's interesting on the hair follicle test, Natalie said, I have clients that go all in, and I have other clients that if I can get them to drink one extra glass of water a day, that's a win. So it's like meeting people where they're at.
Yeah, because I can tell you, I think if I had got those results a year ago, I was not ready. I did not have the space. I was not prepared to create space to make these changes, because I was still working off of some diet trauma, this all or nothing. If I cannot do it all or nothing, then I'm a failure. Like that is something that was very deep subconsciously programmed. And now I realize that's not true. I don't have to start everything on Monday. I can like, so it's like me truly getting grounded into my body and into self-awareness, and like eliminating the anxiety and these stories that I kept telling myself, which none of them were true. And so I'm just like really proud of what we've done with our supplement game, and then also the food and all this, because this is very much, because just 3 months ago, we really were like every day it was like, let's go down to the convenience store and get our candy bar for the night. And I hadn't realized it was something that had started to become like routine. And then all of a sudden it became like literally the same time every night, this craving came on. And so now it's not as often, but I do occasionally have it. And we have, it's not like we haven't been like, hey, let's go for old time's sake. It's more when it became like every day for us, you know?
The other, like I'd been wanting some peanut butter M&Ms, and then I finally saw them at Target for a good price. I'm like, okay, I'll get them. I put them in the freezer, cool them down. And then I was hungry and I started eating them, and I realized it was just like empty calories to me. I like the idea of it. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like aware that I'm aware of what I'm doing, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? And so but also giving yourself grace and gratitude and forgiveness of like these deep programs. You've been running them maybe for a long time, maybe your whole life.
Safe. I've realized they kept me safe in my head and in my body. And now I'm taking that back and I'm creating the safety I need for my mind and my body and my spirit. And it's been a different.
Oh, that was the last thing I wanted to talk about, was safety and feeling safe with supplements. Like, so when if you get too low on any particular electrolyte or nutrient or whatever, your body won't feel safe and it'll send you messages to eat. But that's what you would do in ancient times is eat and eat. But now we have so much data we can collect about ourselves with an Aura ring, with wearable tech, with hair
Apple
follicle
Watches,
testing. And so now you can hone in and be like, oh, I think I'm missing some amino acids, right? And you add those in, and then suddenly you feel better, and then you don't have to eat as much. And so, like, safety comes up for Shelley a lot because
I'll be straight up. I was never safe in my body. From the age I was 10 years old, I had some stuff said to me about my weight, and it took me on a whole different level. And I became a compulsive overeater because I immediately developed anxiety because I was not fitting in because I was told that I was overweight at 10, and it created like this avalanche of
like 10
whatever.
for you too, huh?
Yeah. And so it's like the hiding of the food, the taking away of the food, the denial of the food. So it's a really
Going to
deep
convenience
shit.
stores.
Yeah. And then honestly, I had eating disorders of binging and purging for years and years. So
yeah. Well, that's
I'm so happy that we're here at this point now.
Yeah. And it's giving yourself the grace
Yes.
through all this and be like, you're doing your personal best each day, and your personal best each day might look a little different
for everyone.
Yeah.
Don't compare yourself. Just keep celebrating all your triumphs, and then the things that, you know, maybe aren't going so well, the challenges, like really having the awareness and creating the pivots for them and not taking them as an all or nothing.
Like you said, make space for it. If you suddenly want to take all supplements, you might need to make space in your pantry and get rid of all that like boxed shit so that you can have room for a protein powder or whatever.
Right. So,
or mentally, spiritually too. Okay, I don't think I have any final thoughts on this. I think we covered it.
We just wanted to share our journey with supplements and a bit with food and just what we've been encountering and going through the last few months, and just we feel really great.
Yeah, and we're gonna do a follow-up one on supplements for if you're going to like journeys and stuff. We're gonna do that one separate. Maybe we'll put it on Patreon so we can be very open about it. And then also, so check out the hair follicle testing. I'll drop the link down. I'll get you connected with Natalie. We're going to work on bringing that to Green's Nutrition at Stockton. If you need a consult with Green's Nutrition,
highly recommend her.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe she would even do ones on the phone if you're interested. Yeah. She's great. She has a lot of experience.
And she's rolling out a little bit of local delivery option too for people
if you're local.
like you can't get out or whatever. Yeah, and then you're going to be doing some podcasts on bariatric and weight loss stuff.
Yeah, I'm working on a podcast series right now with another gal. Her name's Lacey, and she's also a nurse. Also has had weight loss surgery, but has had complications and stuff, and how she's really gone through those challenges and how she's navigated it. It's been very inspiring, and that will be coming up very shortly.
Nice. So. And yeah. Let's see. Oh, and we're starting the Holistic Chamber of Commerce in Stockton. We've got quite a few people on the email list already. If you want to be added, DM me your email that you want to be added, and we'll get that going. And we're going to have some events locally and bring some other chapters together. Got a lot of things fun and planned for that. And then also helping holistic business owners get things cleaned up, dialed in, streamlined, so like we can move the ethereal to materialize, so you can make cash flow and just feel comfortable and safe living in the ethereal and in the matrix world too. So if you have any questions, comments, drop them down and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.